has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? It's Thursday. It's another podcast night, but some technical difficulties are happening. G is still stuck in Saudi Arabia, like how the WWE guys were last year for Crown Jewel. Sorry, she can't make it for tonight's podcast. No, in all seriousness, she has came down with what the UK always get around December and November time, which is the common cold. So all the best wishes to her. Reese had a fatal accident as someone decided to super kick his camera, so he is not be able to show his face, but his audio is at least here. And it's just me, Courtney, running the main eye candy of getting to watch the show.
That's why I wore this t-shirt, because I was like, look, if we're going to have to compensate somehow, I'm going to bring Michael Scott.
I mean, I'm still in spooky season vibes. I'm wearing Exorcist. Like
this picture here of, oh my gosh, I can't even show you. That one there is how I felt going into Crown Jewel.
Oh, no, yeah.
Actually, never mind. It's this one here.
It's that one there. We have
it?
definitely a lot to get into Crown Jewel, but I thought for the fun to start, some interesting point system has changed, and our point holder is usually Miss G, but I don't think she's going to be mad at me for writing in her book. She might be, but I wrote down the scores.
I hope not.
Reese,
furious.
you have been knocked down into second place after yours. You are now 47 out of 65.
Oh my god, it's not fair.
Courtney has came in with the reins of being first still. Oh no, Reese, sorry, you are third place now.
I know, dude. Don't worry. I didn't even want to correct you.
I misread. Yeah, I misread.
No, honestly, man, like just being referred to as second place, like, felt good for a minute.
You're a secondary champion, my guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Courtney, you are still on a roll with 53 out of 65. You were slightly more hopeful for Crown Jewel, but
I know. We'll get
score.
into that.
Yeah, Reese, the guests have pushed you back. The guests are now up and on 49 out of 65. Jasmine coming in clutch for the guests of this year.
Right, it's official. No more guests. I'm done with that.
Official, no more guests. They have to stay at that threshold.
No more guests.
As a guest.
G is very much on your coattails, Reese. She is 1 point off. She is 46 while you are 47.
Oh, right on my coattails
is me leading the turtle race of I am on 35 and a half. I am never going to catch you guys up. And I am okay with that.
This is the practice round for us taking it more seriously next year. Let's just
Yeah. Next year when we run it all back.
Next year, it's all serious.
Me and Reese have already stated. Me and Reese are getting a side hustle of we're doing NXT against each other. If you want in on the NXT, you're welcome to.
Yeah, boy.
I have to start watching NXT more frequently if I want to do
Exactly. Yeah, that's what he's made me do now. I was like, if I'm gonna have to predict NXT against him, I'm gonna have to watch more of it.
Oh yeah, boy. I'm gonna fucking go undefeated in NXT next year.
Undefeated.
Well, yeah, if you're the only person doing the predictions, of course you're gonna go undefeated.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they call me the undefeated era.
Look, if I get undefeated, Eric, that Loki, that was actually quite good. I ain't gonna
Thank you. Thank you.
As I said, if we were doing New Japan predictions as well, I'd be freaking like top tier right now because I predicted most of what happened at Power Struggle. I'm very happy with what I said.
New Japan?
Yeah. That other promotion people don't like to forget about. But anyway, let's get into Crown Jewel.
Gosh.
I'm going to start with the match that actually started the pay-per-view, which I thought was very interesting because I didn't expect this one to start. We have the old bloodline versus the new bloodline. Obviously, I'm going to try and get it out of the way because he is probably going to have the most to say. So I'm going to lead with Reese. What were your thoughts on this match and how did you feel about it opening the card?
Well, you know what they say, lead with your best foot, and Solo Sikoa is by far the best foot of the WWE. In my opinion, this needed to happen. Like, you've had Roman Reigns pretty much beat the crap out of the New Bloodline for the whole time that he's been back. We all knew the end game for the Bloodline, like this chapter, was War Games. You need some momentum. Like I said last week, the whole reason why I predicted the New Bloodline to win is you need momentum for these guys going into that match, or else what is there to fight against? Like, what is the motivation for Roman Reigns and the gang to go into War Games? Oh, this Sunday, we're going to go into War Games and beat you again, just like we did last week, and the week before, and the week before that. But this time, it's going to take us 45 minutes to do it. Yeah, that sounds crap. Give me a new Bloodline win. Jacob Fatu looking amazing as usual. Solo Sikoa pulling his weight, pinning Roman Reigns with the Samoan Spike, making the Samoan Spike look dope again, just like it did last year when he pinned John Cena. Yeah, Solo Sikoa pinned John Cena. Everyone's forgotten about that. But it needed to go down. Some people were disappointed that Roman Reigns lost one of his first pay-per-view matches back. They were disappointed that the Usos, for the first time teaming up since God knows when, lost. But it's fine because they're going to win at War Games probably. So everyone needs to calm down.
Yeah.
It was the right thing to happen. That's my thoughts.
Well, I'm very much in the same boat as you there. I think a lot of the crowd were very much all for this old bloodline, and I'm like, I get that because that's been a staple. That's something we've known for 4 years. But if you want to build credibility of the new side of the story and the rivals of it all, you need those guys to win, and you need it to make a credible win. I think inserting Sammy into this, was it an accident? Was it on purpose? Is a unique way of adding Sammy to the storyline situation. Because I didn't just want it to be Jay walked up to Sammy being like, hey, yo, you were part of the family. You helped us for so many years. Come tag in, come help me against this new bloodline. I like the fact of he came in, he looked like he was coming to help the old bloodline, but then also hit Roman and wasn't really remorseful about hitting him. He just kind of stared and was like, oh, I did that. And I'm
shit.
Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty interesting. Let's see where it goes. And then obviously on Raw, we got a little bit more of it as well. And I like that they've already set the scene and set that situation of Sammy is this, do I just help out people for the sake of Jay? Or am I doing this and it's going to end up being worse than it was before?
Yeah.
And we don't know what Solo said to him. This is the whole thing. Solo could have asked Sammy to be there and drop the kick on Roman. We don't know. Like, it adds all these extra layers that I think definitely made this match more interesting. And I'm very much the same as you. I think lead with a good story that is going to gauge people, especially because the pay-per-view was on quite an early time for the US and stuff like that. So giving them probably arguably the main story they're going to tune in for as the first thing makes logical business sense. And then they're going to be like, oh, I'll sit and just watch the rest anyway. That's how I kind of saw the way of them putting that match on there. But what are your thoughts, Court? Obviously, you've got your opinions of the bloodline as well, so let's see.
I kind of agree with Reese. I know that Saudi Arabia definitely would have wanted to have one of the Crown Jewel championships be the main event. And I think because of the storyline and the way things have been going with the bloodline, I think this was the best way to do it. I was incredibly surprised that Roman got pinned because obviously I called it last week and said I feel like the only reason Jimmy's in the match is because he's going to get pinned. So I was quite happy he didn't get pinned. But I think a lot of people are really upset by the fact that Roman got pinned. But we have to remember that Roman has had this massive fall from grace from being the tribal chief to where he is now. Of course, he's going to suffer some losses before he gets back up and, starts hitting those highs again. Sammy's inclusion, I think, was really good because, as I say, we don't really know where his alliance lies. And if he is going to be at SmackDown on Friday, we could see him having an interaction with Solo and the Temu bloodline, as we like to call them. I really actually also liked the fact that Jay came out separately, and the in-ring psychology that I was really paying attention to was like Roman putting out his hand as he used to, but Jay's like, dude, we don't do that anymore. Like, you're no longer in charge of me. This was the only caveat to me being a part of this is that I am my own person, and I think that's really good that we're starting to see Jay remind himself of who he is and that he is no longer a follower. He's a person on his own and can make his own decisions. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with people getting, like, I think people don't understand the idea of delayed gratification and understanding that sometimes storylines need to play out and need to have these different nuances in them for you to get a better payoff than what if you were to get instant gratification is.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is the idea of the bloodline reuniting in 1 week. Yeah, that would have really excited some people, but some people would have been like, I want that story to drag out a little bit more and have so many different moments that I can pinpoint and point back to and say, oh, well, it made sense when they did this 3 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago and all that stuff. I just think a lot of people are getting to the point where maybe they're getting a bit tired of Triple H's long-term storytelling, but I think from what we've seen with long-term storytelling, you feel like it's so much better of a payoff than it is if you were to just blow your story too soon, like Vince McMahon used to do. And I think because the bloodline has been turning in the background for so long and we've been waiting for all these moments to happen, I think there's a lot of people that are like, why the fuck did it take so long? But then there's also people that are like, I'm so glad it took so long because it's given me something to look into every week. I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but I just don't appreciate when people try to speed up a storyline and it's got its own pace and it needs its own people and its own stories to be told within it for the whole story to actually make sense.
You can definitely tell and separate the people who used to watch old school black and gold NXT from the people that didn't. Because the people who did watch old school NXT are very patient and they know like that there's going to be a payoff, or they know where like that these long-term storylines are going. Like we saw it every single week in NXT. But I understand that people like are very used to seeing a payoff every single week or seeing the storyline develop like majorly every single week. But that's not how we got here in the first place. That's not how the Bloodline storyline progressed in the first place. It was a very, very slow build of Roman Reigns building the family and then him losing control of not just himself but the family, like when Jay left and then when Jimmy left and then Jimmy decided to come back because reasons. I don't actually know why Jimmy ever came back. But let's just skirt past that bit. The whole point of Sami Zayn coming out here was great. Like we all know what was going to happen. We all know that Sami Zayn is probably going to be the fourth man for Reigns in the War Games match. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing that you know that's going to happen. It's obvious, and it's good that he's the first person who you think of because it means the previous storytelling for the Bloodline worked. Like he's the first person you go to is Sami Zayn. He's the honorary Uce. Like he meant a lot to the storyline. He meant a lot to the family. So when you see him come out, you saw the pop of the crowd, and then you see it go wrong. It adds to the story, adds to the slow build. Like, he might
Roman. Not be added in.
Yeah, he just kicked Roman. Like, how's Roman going to feel about that? I feel like he was very open, like to Jay, like after Jay's like initial like no yeet. But how did he feel about Sami? Because Roman didn't like Sami like after that Rumble spot, and Sami actually did turn on the Bloodline for an outsider. Jay didn't do that. Jay wanted to be his own man, and Roman had a problem with that. But Sami is a totally different kettle of fish. It's a totally different story. He actually sided with an outsider, so it's going to be interesting to see how Roman Reigns deals with that.
And I think it's also a really interesting conversation that we would have been having if Sami pledged his allegiance to the old bloodline, and then we had 3 weeks worth of build where we've got 3 weeks worth of build for Survivor Series. We could do a whole 3 weeks of, is he going to join? Is he not going to join? Does he have to pledge his alliance to everybody every single week? And Roman's the last person. And then we get the payoff of him joining at Survivor Series. Or we could even go into Survivor Series not knowing if that fourth person is going to be Sami.
Like how they did with Randy.
I think that's so much more exciting from a storyline perspective, and it creates so many more theories and predictions in people's minds. 100%. They're like, we could bring somebody in from the actual bloodline that we've never heard of before, or we could do this, or do this, like, I think it actually helps the story a little bit more instead of giving you all the answers on a silver platter and then being like, just deal with this shit for 3 weeks before we get to the pay-per-view, you know?
I totally agree. And there was a part I was sat watching with my friends, and this is how like layered this Bloodline storyline was. When Sammy Aluva kicked Roman, like Jimmy went crazy at Sammy, and Jay came to his aid, talked me down. And I turned around to my friends and was like, the irony that Jay coming to Sammy's aid with Bloodline affairs, it was always Jimmy that liked Sammy. And now it's Jay.
And that was referenced on Raw this week too, is Sammy said to Jimmy, like, we were the ones who were bros first. And then Jay had to warm up to you. And then Roman had to warm up to you. So it's interesting, as you say, the dynamic has completely shifted that Jay and Sammy are still close, irregardless of the bloodline. And then he's now having to try and convince Jimmy
with Jimmy
and rekindle with Jimmy and rekindle with Roman. It's very interesting.
Exactly, and this is what I always said about the Bloodline storyline. Like, people were just saying, "Oh, Roman, 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 Roman." It's always about Roman. It's like, it's not. There's layers to this. Like, there's stories upon stories in the storyline. It's been going on for years and years and years. It was built so well, and you can see how important it was to the main story. Because, I mean, not to throw shade, look who the champion is now, and it's not very interesting. But anyway.
One thing I want to ask with this quickly is, do you think we are going to see the return of Paul Heyman around Survivor Series time?
So.
I know he's been gone for a very long time.
I think so.
Yes, I do.
I think he's going to call them. I think he's going to do the whole ladies and gentlemen and then announces the bloodline to get in, like, mental warfare, get into Solo's head.
Because we haven't heard anything in terms of Paul Heyman since he got written off. Nothing from anybody from the OG bloodline. So they might not even be aware that something's gone wrong with Paul.
The only thing that was ever brought up was when Jimmy, like, sat next to Roman. He said, like, what's the plan? And he was like, I'm not a wise man. Yeah, I was like, I'm not a wise man. I'm a tribal chief.
But
That's the only thing
they know that their wise man's been taken out.
Yeah.
Surely you've got to think so.
That Solo could easily hold over them and be like, do you guys even know where your wise man is? Like, I took him out months ago.
Yeah. I mean,
add to the multi-layer that we were saying about how this bloodline has layers. By the way, I don't know if you guys know about this, but back when Gorillas of Destiny, 2 Wrestle Kingdoms ago, won the tag belts, they did a promo backstage calling out any tag team. And they basically went, Motor City Machine Guns, fight us. Usos, if you can make it happen, come to Japan and fight us. Now look what's just happened. We've just had a glimpse of the Usos versus Gorillas of Destiny. We
also had Gorillas of Destiny versus Motor City Machine Guns.
Exactly.
And the Simpsons didn't predict that one either, did they?
Yeah,
no.
This is what I'm saying. Like, they had a promo referencing them, saying they wanted to wrestle them, and it gave them that opportunity to do that in this match. And I think that's a really interesting perspective. A lot of people haven't just sat down and thought about, because you guys know me very well. Tag team wrestling is my thing. I'll always talk about tag team wrestling and how I think and how, like, I always think having teamwork in the ring is something that's always awesome to see. And the fact of we just had the Usos reform and they hadn't skipped a beat. Yeah. And we've had Jacob Fatu kind of trying to merge with the group. And this is no, like, dig on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is an absolute beast as a solo star. I find it very interesting that Tangaloa has been put to the wayside for Jacob Fatu when Loa and Tonga have some of the best synergy when they're in the ring together. And they showed that in this match. When them two actually started, like, getting going, not this match, sorry. When these two had their matches on SmackDown and they were actually both in the ring at the same time, they didn't skip a beat. And I think it sucks for Tangaloa at the moment because they're still not utilizing him. But I think there's reasons why. And there's going to be layers to that. I think that's going to be one of the things that plants the seed for Tama Tonga and Tangaloa to betray Solo and Fatu a lot later down the line is you underutilized my brother. You put me with someone that I never said I was going to be a tag guy with.
Yeah.
You just throw my brother aside. I'm doing this for the family that I have that you're disrespecting. That's how I see that layer of a storyline slowly going. Because you can see Lower is slightly getting frustrated each week, if you've noticed on camera. Of him just being like, oh, I'm at the side again. Yeah, I'll take your necklace. And stuff like that. So there's all these extra layers. And I think it's interesting because this goes into my next point of there was another massive tag match that we all had. And this goes into the next segment of what we were going to talk about of the women's match. I think this match arguably was match of the night. Personally,
I agree.
I
loved every moment of this. I genuinely think this match topped a lot of the card. I just don't agree with the winners. I don't know if you guys all feel the same on that. So yeah, I'll go to Courtney. I want to know your points on it.
So I agree with you on your point of this being match of the night, because that's how I felt watching it. I thought it was one of the better matches we have seen come out of the women's division from Crown Jewel, and I think that really goes to show not only the progress that they have made within the women's division when representing WWE in Saudi, but I think the caliber of talent that they have is phenomenal. I loved how every single person in this team got a moment to shine. You had Damage Control with their aerial assassin moves. You had Piper and Chelsea bringing the comedy. You had the upstarts of Metaphor coming in, showing everybody they do deserve to be on the main roster. And I have heard there is rumors going around that they are potentially on the main roster and that potentially all of Metaphor may be, but that's another conversation for another day. And obviously with the champions, Bianca and Jade, they did really great as well too. I loved this match. I think this was really good. I'm indifferent about the winner. To be honest, I think keeping the titles on Jade and Bianca is a very, very, very safe bet. I think they were more or less trying to focus on pandering to the crowd, and I don't really know how they would have felt maybe taking the titles off Jade and Bianca this soon, considering that if they are going to do something with them, it will be later on next year. But they have now started seeding, putting like the seeds of the dissension in there as well too.
And that's where my argument comes in of I didn't agree with the winners, because I think planting the seeds of them going against each other now, I think if they dropped the belts and then Liv kind of played on what she already did, but went, she's the reason you guys lost the belt, and then Jade will be like, what the hell? And then
well, because Jade and Bianca match, whenever that decides to happen, that is a huge match.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can build up for a long time. It's just when they choose to do it. And I don't know if it's because they feel like they don't have enough hope in another tag team to take the titles.
Yeah.
But that's when they need to start doing what they've just done with Metaphor. They need to start bringing up other tag teams from NXT and having them represented in the tag title scene as well. I really enjoyed this match. I do think for me this was a really good match. And I honestly favorite match of the entire show. It was such a show stealer. Lash and Jakara, I just want to put out a special mention. They not only looked fabulous, but they also wrestled really well. And as well as 100%. Jakara looking like Mystique too. That was...
I'm glad someone
was so good.
It.
I saw a picture of it with her orange wig and I was like, dude, just chuck her in the movie.
I was trying to explain this to someone. Yeah. I was like, I swear their gear is a reference and it gives me Mystique.
I caught the reference. I was like, that is so good. So good. I loved it.
Nah,
good match. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Sweet. Reese.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I find it hard to crap on this match because I think it was match of the night by far, to be honest with you. There wasn't. I don't think there was a match that came close to topping this one. I could have watched these girls wrestle for another 10 minutes. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
The result, I mean, expected. I mean, I never had any doubt that Jade and Belair weren't going to retain. I think that's saved for a later date. I think I said in the predictions that the reason why I was going to pick Jade and Bianca is because I think it's too soon to build for a WrestleMania at the moment. Because that's a lot of months to fill, a long time until Mania, and obviously that is the end goal, which I'm assuming for those two.
Yeah.
I think the women's tag team division is in a better place, or or the best place it's ever been in. Like the depth is really good. I like the fact that, like you say, the metaphor. I've also heard rumors that they're coming up to the main roster, all of them, which is great to hear.
I'd love that.
Yeah, 100%. I like the fact that even though we had like 4 great tag teams in this match, that the depth of the women's tag team division doesn't actually stop there either. We've got like 3 other great teams that weren't even in this match. So it just goes to show you how many great women's tag teams we have at the moment. I'm not thrilled about 2 single stars holding the belts, but at the moment, you don't really want to leave Jade by herself because
No.
what else are you going to do? You want to keep her close to Bianca because it builds up the storyline for the eventual match. What I will say is it does leave the other team stranded if they're going to be holding those tag teams. But I've always said you don't need a championship in a feud, in a story, to make it mean something. So you could totally do something with those other women. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really going to say anything bad about this match because, for the most part, in ring wise, it was as close to perfect as you can get.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think like it was a real reminder for me on when I was watching Raw this week in the Battle Royale of actually how great of a single star Bianca is, and I do miss her as a singles wrestler. I absolutely do. I really wish she was vying for one of those singles titles, but we're in a situation where Jade still needs a little bit more time to like get some extra miles under her belt. Basically, I think putting her with Bianca is great for when they eventually decide to do that. I did see a lot of people saying that Lash was looking a lot more fluid in the ring than Jade was. They were saying that Jade was looking a little bit robotic with some of her moves in terms of like waiting and kind of counting out for the next spot. But Lash did look really good, especially alongside the likes of Jade and Bianca. She looked phenomenal in terms of her power, in terms of the in-ring ability. Like she just has it for me. And she's really good in terms of like her character. You could tell a little bit that she was on the outside, just like watching everything, kind of waiting for her next spot. But hey, look, that might just come down to nerves being her first main roster PLE, considering we don't even know the status fully of if they've actually been called up or not. So I think for a first timer, that was, she did an amazing job.
I mean, with Lash, she's come a long way in a short amount of time. Obviously, she's been on NXT for a couple of years now. But if you compare to a couple of months ago, when she was the last minute replacement for a championship match against, I believe it was Lyra Valkyria, which wasn't that long ago. She looked green as grass in that match, and that was maybe February, March, and now we're in October, November wise, and she's looking way better.
Yeah.
And that's not a long time. So I think she's come a long way in a short amount of time.
I think as well, as soon as a lot of the talent that have had injuries come back as well, that adds the opportunity for more tag teams and more other match opportunities, especially for the girls like Metaphor. I think it'd be really nice to see Shotzi potentially tag team up with a Lyra Valkyrie.
Where's Shotzi at?
Shotzi, remember she completely tore her whole ACL off the bone.
I was wondering why I hadn't seen her.
Yeah, she had to have major surgery, and it was like basically they said she'll be out for like a year. I am going to put it out there though. I'd love to see her and Scarlett.
I was just thinking that
because they've been doing this YouTube series where they ghost hunt with each other, and like they have really good like on camera chemistry together. They're just fun, and
it also helps that they're friends as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not forget that.
Like, that'd be cool, and it gives Scarlett some more stuff to do instead of just being Final Testament. Or add Shotzi to Final Testament, so there are 2 females to do. There you go. There's your female
I think that's a good idea.
AOP. There's your male tags, and that's another team to introduce to the tag scene. There's like several ways all these characters go, and like as Reese said, I think some of the girls that originally looked quite green have really came and showed up and showed out. Like as we said, Jade looked quite green when she first started joining because obviously she never really wrestled the WWE style. She just did a couple of spots, couple of moves in AEW. because that's how they wanted to book her. They wanted to do a Goldberg-esque run with her.
Mm.
So to see the kind of improvement she's now got, I mean, there's still work there, as like Reese said as well. You don't want to really get a separate now. You want her to still keep it. Yeah, you want to keep slow burning her, keep her improving alongside Bianca, then put her in a match against Bianca, because then they're going to both know their ring chemistry so well.
Yeah.
Same with like Jakara and Lash. They're both girls that have come very quickly from NXT straight up to main roster scene. And I still think they were arguably one of the strongest in that women's match.
Yeah, they held their own for sure.
Yeah, and I thought it was fucking awesome to see that Piper Niven started doing combos with Lash. I was like, oh, I'll take that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the saying of like high tides raises all ships. And I think if you're in a situation where you're being put with people that are, you know, more established than you in terms of their experience, I think that really pushes you to either sink or swim in that moment. And I do think that the talent that we are going to especially see coming up from NXT, I definitely think the next round of draft picks or in the next 5 years, the women's division, if they're coming up from NXT, I definitely think we're in safe hands. I think Shawn Michaels is doing a phenomenal job at training these people, giving them a character, giving them a gimmick, giving them promo classes, you know, actually getting them ready for main roster. And I think the synergy that he has with Triple H and the expectation of, you know, this is what we want for main roster, make it happen down there so when they come up, it's not so much of a struggle for people to adapt to who these people are. You know, I think both of them working in tandem together is really helping the betterment of the division.
I would also give like a quick shout out to, I know it's a bit random, but if we're talking about teaming people up with each other, then I would give a quick shout out to, I feel like Gigi Dolan would be a nice little tag team partner for Shotzi. She did quite well. She did quite well for the Halloween Havoc introduction, and it reminded me of Shotzi's intros for the Halloween Havoc for the past couple of years.
They need to do more with Gigi because it feels so weird that she was such a prominent figure in NXT for ages under Toxic Attraction, and then she's just kind of fallen to the wayside. Because,
well, yeah, let's face it, dude. She was the number 2 in Toxic Attraction. JC Jane was the number 3, so it's weird that JC Jane kind of found the feet.
Yeah, JC James just excelled with this like fatal influence, and when she was doing the Chase U stuff, I was super invested into her.
Unbelievable stuff. Yeah,
weird.
It's funny that JC's just gone from being in Toxic Attraction to then being in another like group.
Yeah, very Toxic Attraction.
It's pretty much Toxic Attraction part. Did you see Fallon Henley's outfit? Like, it was literally Mandy Rose's outfit.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Like, when she was wearing
borrowed it from her.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to make any comments that'll get me possibly banned, but yes, I did see it.
Yes. It was pretty much the same. Like, I mean, Mandy Rose, like, you know, like, I get that she's not in the company anymore. And, like, Fallon Henley, like, Fallon Henley's sick. I love Fallon Henley. But, you know, it is Toxic Attraction 2.0. I'm not the biggest fan of the Fatal Influence. I love the theme song. I'll give them that. But, I mean, I feel like Fatal Influence needed a little bit more character. But we're not talking about Fatal Influence. We're not talking about NXT. I'm sorry, I derailed the conversation.
Right, shall we move on to the next match then?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I'm going to go into one that had the potential to be a lot more fun.
I know what you're talking about.
Really didn't feel as fun as it could have been. And kind of like the most expected kind of outcome. I'm going to talk about LA Knight, Andrade, Carmella Hayes. Like,
right, okay.
The match was decent. Like, the thing was, the match was decent, but once again, it just felt like most of the match was just Carmella Hayes and Andrade. Like,
I fell asleep during this match.
So did G. That is the funniest
shit. It wasn't intentional. I swear to God, I'd just been at work. It wasn't intentional. No, it was just that fucking boring.
I had to rewind it back just to confirm that I wasn't dreaming it, that LA Knight did retain. Because I had a moment where I kind of like started like, you know, the nodding dog where you're like, I'm trying to stay up. Because by the way, even though it was on a very great time for the UK, we didn't start watching it till like 10:30 on the night. Just putting it out there.
You didn't watch it live.
Yeah, we didn't watch it live because we had other stuff going on. But yeah, it just felt really fucking weird. Once again, it's like, cool, you basically gave us that game 7 that you talked about, but then once again, you just gave LA Knight these very quick moments and gave him the win. And I was like, I get it, but you have now just basically buried 2 guys who have worked their ass off into these matches to just go, LA Knight, very quick victory. That's my thoughts.
I don't think that. Okay, so I'm not going to comment on the match because I didn't go back and watch it. I give 0 fucks. I'm just happy that LA Knight retained. But I think they put themselves in a position where, like, Carmelo and Andrade have just lost. I don't think they're buried. It's just a case of like I don't see a clear path where they go next, kind of thing. That's my problem. That's my problem. I don't see where they go. I'm like, well, this has done nothing to benefit either of them. Like, how am I supposed to be behind either of these guys after them doing a best of 7? I just don't.
That's more why I was saying, like, as I said, buried was probably the harsher term of it, but I feel like you just really crumbled a lot of their momentum because you've made these guys work their ass off, do 7 matches. Well, technically fucking 8 now, just for LA Knight to win. And Reese made an amazing point the last podcast we did. Why the fuck has Santo Escobar not been involved in any of these? Why has Los Lotharios not been involved in any of these? Why has none of the other guys who are mid-carders on SmackDown not been involved? Hey, you know Baron Corbin that you were fucking sitting on before you released him? He could have had a couple of matches.
Yeah. I have a better idea of what they could have done. They literally could have just done a Battle Royale situation and had the winner of that go up against LA Knight at Crown Jewel. Makes no sense.
It winds me up, this match, and God, this is harsh to say because you're talking about 3 of my favorite people on SmackDown right now.
Same.
I didn't care about any of these people in this match. I didn't think Andrade deserved to be in this match. I didn't think Carmelo deserved to be in this match. I didn't think LA Knight needed to be defended against these 2 guys because they suck and they lost. I mean, in character, he's defended against 2 people who have lost multiple matches against each other, against him, and then Drew. I mean, that was down to him, yes, but they still lost. Like, why was he defending against 2 losers? I didn't understand it. Like, it made no sense. I didn't need to see this match. No one needed to see this match. I would have rather seen an IC title match. Why was the IC title not on the card? I don't get it. Like, this match did not need to happen. This match could have happened on fucking SmackDown this week, which, by the way, I'm excited to see this week. But it could have happened on SmackDown this week. I don't get it. Like you say, there's a lot of people in the mid card, just like I said last week, who could have been doing something. You just brought up Baron Corbin, excellent example. How about Apollo Crews?
Apollo Crews, yeah.
What about Giovanni Vinci?
What the fuck are they doing with Giovanni Vinci? You've got Angel Garza right there, potential single star. I'm not being funny. You've got
Berto as well.
Yes, like I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I understand that Carmelo Hayes is him. I understand that Andrade is El Idolo, but El Idolo and him have just fucking lost 7,000 matches against each other. So why are they deserving a fucking #1 contenders match for a title? It doesn't make sense.
You're not wrong though. That's the thing. Is like they've got so many people, but they got stuck in this whirlpool of Andrade and Carmelo, and you just can't get them out. Like
I understand.
The best part is, right? The best part is, this is the best bit. It's not just us talking about it, right? WWE have acknowledged this themselves on TV. They had Santos Escobar walk up to Nick Aldis and ask, "Where's my place? Where's my match?" So they know. So why are we watching this match?
Yeah.
Like, adds to it, slightly tangent, but adds to this. Chris Van Vliet recently did an interview with Ricochet.
I listened to that yesterday.
Yes, and Ricochet made an excellent point on this that I feel like needs to be justified. Ricochet turned around and said he started getting put back on TV again, which he was happy about, but he felt like he was coming in with the new guys, the not Baron Corbin, the Bron Breakers, the Ilias, and everything. It's like, bruh, I've been here 5 years already. Where's my spot and my opportunity? I've worked for you. I've shown it. I want to be given more. Other talent are going to say the exact same when they've worked their ass off for you and they're like, I'm good and ready to go, and you're not using them. Tegan Knox, for a perfect example, has been sat saying, by the way, I haven't been injured. I've been wanting to be used. They've just
She couldn't even get booked for speed.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
And it's not her fault. I'm just laughing because it's like, you want to say you're creating all these different opportunities for the women's division. All right, cool. Chuck her in NXT speed then. Oh, wait, you can't even give her 3 fucking minutes.
Exactly. And it's like...
The same with Indy as well. Indy, that fucked me off that Indy got released literally the same day that she was on a pre-recorded episode of SmackDown.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
it annoys me that Indy's been released.
Yeah.
As
she was
Candice
doing
LeRae
some good
has
shit with Candice.
I was about to say, like, it's annoying that Indy's been released as Candice has been getting a mini push. Like, sorry?
But also, we were literally just talking about the women's tag scene being in a good place. You just got rid of one half of one of the longest, most established tag teams in all of WWE's women's division. Like, don't come and sit here and tell me, hey, our division's really good. Well, why'd you get rid of Indy Hartwell? She literally was one of the better tag team wrestlers.
Literally.
And you've got 2 fucking champions who are single stars? If 1 + 1 is 2 and 5 + 5 is 10, what the fuck is that? Like, that does not make sense to me. Like, genuinely.
Preach.
Well, we didn't even get to talk about the releases last week because it happened the day after the pod.
As literally we were watching it, yeah. And this is another thing that annoys me. It's like they've purposely gone out their way to drop this when people weren't going to expect it. And apparently there's more on the way. And I hate talent releases. I understand why they do it, business reasons. I'm always going to make this point, business. I understand if it's not working for them and it's not working for the wrestler, I get it. But it is the most heartbreaking thing to see when it's not the wrestler's fault, when they have tried, when they have pitched ideas and they are like, oh, sorry, no. Like, what do you expect them to do? That's like coming to work saying, I've got this idea for a project, and then the manager looking at the project being like, oh, yeah, we like this idea, but we're going to give it to this person to do the job instead. It's the most mind-boggling thing, and I think this whole mid-card scene at the moment is like SmackDown's weakest point right now because there's such a good pool of people to use, and they aren't doing that.
No.
Match aside, LA Knight retaining, I get it, but I fucking want LA Knight now to genuinely have just more defenses.
Move on and do something else.
And don't just do fucking multi-matches for people to challenge him. Actually just go, right, cool. Let's go to the first promo he said where he hit it and quit it. If he's going to be a hit it and quit it guy, start fucking lining up all the challenges. Multiple people.
I think with LA Knight at the moment, his title run has been carried by his promos. I think his matches have been quite lackluster, to be honest with you. I would compare it to, I mean, I love this guy as well. I would compare LA Knight's and Trick Williams' title runs. They've been very lackluster.
Yeah.
Like the promo has been great. Like outside of the ring, really good. Like makes me hyped to see the match. But when I see the match, it's usually a mediocre match or one of the worst matches on the card on that particular day. Yeah. And I know that LA Knight's got more in him. 100%. I don't really know what's happening. But
I think I know what's happening.
Go for it.
They're scared to do stuff until Netflix.
No, it's not even that. It's a situation of this company could be putting so much attention into different aspects of things at the same time, but they don't. They focus on one thing at a time and everything else falls to the wayside until something gets improved. Example, they wanted to make the Bloodline storyline improve. They've done that. they don't need to focus on Bloodline anymore because Bloodline's off on its own thing, doing its own thing. Then they focused on Judgment Day. We heard so many stories about different wrestlers who were pitching to Triple H, hey, can I go back to my original gimmick, i.e. Piper Niven and Pete Dunne? How many months did that take for us to finally get that? Now we finally got that. They don't have to focus on it. It's the fact that this company has 30 or 40, 50-something writers, and they're only focusing on improving one small thing in the chain when they could be putting a little bit of attention into a couple of different things at the same time and improving the product altogether. That's what the problem is. And the women's mid-card division, the women's tag scene, and the SmackDown fucking mid-card scene especially are things that need improvement, but they're probably going to focus on them one at a time. That's the reason why I hate watching SmackDown, because with Raw, you already know who's solid in the main event, women's and men's, the mid-card, and go down the chain that way. With SmackDown, you got so many people just sitting there waiting to do something, and they're not being used properly. They're not being utilized. For me, SmackDown, and I don't want this to come across upsetting for you, Reese, because I know how much you love this group. But SmackDown, honestly, to me, just feels like a 2-hour tribute show to the Bloodline. They don't do anything to improve any other storylines that people are actually invested in. They don't do anything to improve the mid-card scene for SmackDown. They don't do anything to improve the women's scene for the division. They're constantly doing the same recycled matches with Naomi and Bayley, when I care more about the storyline that's going on with Tiffany and Nia, but yet we're seeing very little of that. There is so much on SmackDown that they could be focusing on, and don't blame it on it being 2 hours, because they're doing it with an hour less on Raw and still managing to get a good show out there. As often as they can.
It's a lot more visible on SmackDown.
It's no longer an excuse of it, our duration of the time is not long enough. No. You've done SmackDown for 2 hours for far too long. You should have the shit nailed by now.
Yeah, you should have it nailed.
It's not that difficult.
That's
it frustrates me.
Argument.
It's no longer an issue. It's not a where I can't find the time. Take some shit out that doesn't need to be there. Put it on a digital exclusive. If people want it, they'll find it. But showcase everybody on the show. Yeah. Show that you're more than just a Bloodline tribute act. Show us that you care about the women's division. You care about the mid-card scene. You want to do all of this stuff.
Exactly.
And I know that just went down on a tangent, but that's the problem.
That tangent was all accurate, because that is the sentiment a lot, all three of us have felt going into this LA Knight match. And we are saying this about 3 exceptional talents. Kamala Hayes, I have loved watching throughout all of NXT. To then he came to SmackDown. I was like, cool, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what comes from it. So now this is what I'm dealing with. Left AEW with fucking arguably the coolest faction in history. Yes, I'm a big fucking LIJ and LIF guy. The fact Andrade nearly became the leader of it again, to leave it, to give his faith back to WWE, because that's what he enjoyed. Today have fucked him worse than AEW ever did. Sorry, not sorry. I'm going to point that fucking out there. Yeah. This ain't the one.
Kamala Hayes, it's like he's been neutered on the main roster. He is not the same guy from NXT at all. Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
It just feels they've put the shackles of the main roster on him and made him feel like
he's Diet Mellow. Dude. That's what he is.
You literally had regular Coke, regular Carmelo on NXT, and now you've got Carmelo no sugar on main roster.
Yeah, literally. You've gone from full fat to 0 real quick.
Honestly, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, no.
It's fucking ridiculous, mate.
Carrying on with that, because I think we need to very much get our rants out of here. Pretty much the sentiment of everyone was there is one individual that needed to win because of how you built them, and you've now hindered that build. We are going to talk about the Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins, because same sentiment again. Whereas the mid card is a lot better and the main event scene is getting very interesting on Raw, and I feel like both Seth and Bronson are in-betweeners of the line of mid and main event,
You could put them in
events
both.
going on.
Put them in both.
Like, you could put them in both, but
Mm.
this situation, Seth Rollins is a multi-time champion. Seth Rollins has been there, done it all. Bronson has only ever won the NXT US title, and I'm pretty sure that's it for him. He had this amazing run on Raw, bodying people, absolutely decimating and injuring them for Seth to win. For me, make it make sense. Like, I don't want to sound like an arsehole. I love Seth Rollins. I also love Bronson. I'm a big Bronson guy. Like, I'm biased to him. I've already admitted that on the last podcast. But storyline, build up, it made sense for him to win. And you didn't. And now I don't know where he goes. I don't fear it. Other than that, if they do a rematch and make it a steel cage or something between the two of them, and then Bronson absolutely destroys him because Seth has nowhere to go. But even then, I just feel underwhelmed with the situation now.
I can't even be upset about this match because I knew it was going to happen. All I can say is, like, ooh, he was stood up in the ring after he lost. Like, I'm so scared. Like, well done. Like, who cares? You was down for 3 seconds. You got pinned. And it doesn't matter if you were stood up 10 seconds. It doesn't matter if you stood up 4 seconds after the stomp. You still lost. Doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't mean anything to me that Seth Rollins was like stood on the ramp going, "Oh, he's up. Oh, that's cool, isn't it?" It's like he lost.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't matter how strong you make him look in defeat. You still had him be defeated.
And that's my major argument is you tried to make him look like this big, strong dude because he pretty much got back up after he was knocked out. But you still knocked him out for the seconds that it counted. If you did Seth put a massive stomp on him, got a 2.5 count, and you see Bronson like fucking sit up and make Seth like bounce or fly off to show like how strong he really is, that he forced himself up, then it would have been a more interesting angle. But the fact of like Seth got the free, had chance to have his arm raised, roll out of the ring, start walking up the ramp, and then Bronson was stood there. It's like, no, it should have been as soon as Seth's arm was getting lifted, Bronson should have been up ready to swing again. That would have made it quicker and better.
Don't get me wrong. It was a super stomp. So I appreciate, like, oh, he's up. Wow, after that, even almost wasn't up after the super stomp.
Yeah.
But the fact is, Bronson needed this victory. Like, no matter how tough that he looks in defeat, he's now been beat by Braun Strowman, which was Seth's fault, but he got beat by Braun Strowman, and now he's been beat by Seth Rollins. Like, where does he go from here? Like, you don't get title matches and you don't go up the card by looking tough. You go up the card by winning matches. Exactly. Seth Rollins didn't need to go up the card. He didn't need to win the matches because he's already the main event. Just like CM Punk's already the main event when he beat Drew in the Hell in a Cell. It doesn't matter if Seth loses or wins. Like, he could fucking shit his pants and then come up the next night and get a world title match and no one would bat an eyelid.
Well, that's exactly what fucking happened.
That's basically what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Did you not know?
Wait, what?
So they had like a fatal four-way for the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Seth Rollins was in the match, and he got taken out of the match by Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened, like the following day after Crown Jewel.
So they just... Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I wasn't able to watch Raw, so I've not seen it.
That's exactly what happened.
But that's exactly what happened, and it was just an awful angle of, oh, look, Bronson's not done with him, which I knew was going to happen anyway, but it was like...
I knew it too. I felt the only reason he's in the match is for Bronson to get at him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to... Sorry to interrupt you, dude. I'm not going to lie. When you interrupted me and said that's exactly what happened, I thought you meant Seth Rollins shit his pants.
Oh.
Because as I said, like, Seth Rollins could have shit his pants and the next night get a world title match. You went,
well, he might have.
That's exactly what happened.
No, we more
what?
just spent we more just meant the next night got a title match situation.
Title opportunity.
Right? No, I thought
Yeah.
Seth Rollins full on shit his pants at Crown Jewel
No,
or something.
that would
I
have
was
been
like,
fucking
what?
funny. That
You
would have been
never
more
know,
funny.
my guy.
No.
You never know.
Jeez.
I also just want to shout out Bronson as well, because I don't know if all of y'all noticed, but the motherfucking MF Doom gear he had.
I didn't notice it, no.
I noticed
Yeah.
that. That was cool. Yeah, yes, I did.
Do you know why he had the MF Doom gear on?
No, I don't.
Because he
It was
wanted to.
MF Doom Day.
Oh, right.
Oh, right, was it? Oh no, I didn't know that.
It
That
was,
was well cool.
it was the anniversary of MF Doom, where it's I can't remember the specific album. It's the Food album.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's dead nice.
Yeah, so he purposely had the MF Doom mask on there, which I thought looked absolutely sick on the gear. I'm just like, yeah, this is my guy.
I like that. That's cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
But yeah, once again, these situations of like great matches, wrong people winning these matches. And I think we could say the same for the like co-main events of the male and females Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. Nia versus Liv. How did we feel about that one? I'll go with Reese first.
This was such a nothing match. It was nothing on toast. Like I didn't even know what to think about it. Like Tiffany Stratton came out and that's it. Like she came out and what happened is exactly. I feel like at least one of us said what was going to happen happened. Like she didn't cash in, but she looked like she was going to cash in, and Nia chased her away. I was watching it like, oh, this is so boring. Can the match just
Same
end?
storylines that they've been teasing for the last couple of weeks on SmackDown. They just did the same thing on Crown Jewel. It doesn't have the
exactly.
multiple times.
I don't think Liv should have won. God, I don't know. Just talking about it's making me tired. Like, I don't think Liv should have. Honestly, dude, I'm thinking about this match and it's making me tired. Like, Liv didn't need to win.
No.
It just wasn't necessary. I don't know what else to say. I think the fact that Nia didn't win this match, it doesn't hurt her. But at the same time, it doesn't do her any favors either. Like she's supposed to be the irresistible force. Just have a squash Liv. Who cares? Liv is supposed to be a champion because she's a cowardly champion in the Judgment Day. She's not meant to be this.
That's what she is.
Yeah, she's not meant to be a tough guy. Like it doesn't matter if she loses. It doesn't it doesn't hurt her or anything. She's still got Daddy Dom. She's still got the Judgment Day. She's still got whatever's going on Raw. Like, but Nia kind of needed this because she was like, I'll destroy anyone. Apparently, anyone doesn't include like a 5'1" blonde like Liv Morgan, who only attributes at the moment is she's sleeping with Rey Mysterio's son.
Good for you.
I think also the other problem I had with that is, as we said, chicken shit heel. She still won by chicken shittery of people fucking up and obviously the briefcase and stuff getting involved. But once again, it was like it wasn't necessary or needed. Nia could have still easily won that. And the fact of we're now going to have to see a SmackDown where Nia's obviously going to take a fucking frustration out on Tiffany once again. I get you're slow building to them two having to fight against each other or her eventually cashing in on Nia, but genuinely, I mean this in the nicest fucking way possible. I am sick to death of Liv being involved in every title picture scene and every situation that needs to be involved now. I get it. I understand it, but I'm more interested in Raquel's alignment. Give me a little bit of Raquel's more now joining Judgment Day and showing why she's the enforcer to Liv. Like, actually give Raquel some matches.
Do like a fucking history package or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels weird Raquel was there. I get why she's there. I get they used to be a tag team together, but it just felt weird her standing there and being okay with watching Liv nearly get her ass fully beat. I thought she would be a lot more jumping in and saying a lot more. She kind of just stood to the side of the ring and let stuff happened.
Credit where
Before.
credit's due. Credit where credit's due. I quite like the end of the match when Nia was literally beating the shit out of everybody. Like she was like,
I fucked with that too. I thought that
she was
good.
4-on-1 in people. Like she was taking out Dom, she was taking out Liv, Raquel, but I would have just liked her to win. Like after she beats everyone up, just let her win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. Like I liked the finish because it re-established Nia. Oh no, Nia is a force to be reckoned with. She can beat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
But you didn't need Liv to win to also show that. You could have showed Nia won, then Raquel and Dom could have easily gone to help Liv, jump Nia, been like, even though Liv lost, we're going to jump her so it gives Tiffany the opportunity to cash in. Like, that could have been an angle where Nia was like, nah, fuck that. I beat all 4 of them. That would have been cooler.
How am I supposed to speak disbelief that the Annihilator, which is Nia's finishing move, can be kicked out of by Liv Morgan, where the likes of Mia Yim and Naomi and all of those people have not kicked out of it. But yet in Oblivion, Nia Jax can't take.
It's unbelievable.
It doesn't matter if anyone else is involved in the match on the outside. How am I supposed to suspend my disbelief and know that?
Let's be honest. Didn't the Annihilator take out Rhea Ripley for 3 weeks? Didn't he take out Becky Lynch?
So you were trying to tell me that Liv Morgan is way stronger than Rhea Ripley and can take.
It put Becky and Rhea on the shelf.
It put Lyra Valkyrie as well. It took her out for 2 weeks. She was literally out of the tournament when them two had their match against each other and wasn't on TV for 2 weeks because of how bad it hurt her.
Yeah.
So I'm meant to believe that an Oblivion, which, just going to put it out there, really shit facebuster. It's a very shit.
It was awful, mate. It was not good.
Shit. It genuinely looked really bad. I genuinely think the Oblivion looks good. I think it's a good finisher. That was arguably the worst one she has ever landed. I don't know if it was Nia's selling or how she landed it, or the ropes weren't quite good, but it looked awful. And when we had a stellar women's match earlier on the card where they were doing crazy spots, seeing that as the finisher, nah, sorry, you lost me. And once again, I don't want to come across to the fans that watch us, and I don't want to get these things taken out of context where, once again, it's Ross talking about Liv.
We're not talking about the person. We're talking about the in-ring moves we saw in the ring. We're talking about the match itself. We're talking about the psychology behind it. We're not talking about the person. So many people just keep getting that so confused. And I think we're going to have to say this until the very last breath in our lungs. We are not shitting on the person. So many people are so sensitive these days that they think that we are shitting on people. As Liv Morgan as a person, you walk past me in the street, couldn't care less. Genuinely, could not care less. I'm commenting on what I'm seeing on the television.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. And if you're that sensitive to my critiques on a TV show, don't watch it.
Exactly. I'm not dogging on the character or the person. I'm just dogging on what I see. If I don't like what I see, I'm going to be vocal about it. Reese knows this. Me and Reese have very in-depth Star Wars talks, and that's media me and him absolutely love. If there is shit I do not like, I will dog on it. We openly spoke on the whole Star Wars episode of our podcast. We were very critical of literally so many of the TV shows coming out. We were very critical about Ahsoka, of things we liked and things we didn't like. And it's not us dogging on the actor or the actress or us dogging on the character. We just don't like the direction it went, or we don't like some of the scenes. And that's the exact same with a wrestler. If you're going to do your moveset to me and your moveset doesn't speak to me, or I don't have that belief in that move would work that way, that's just my opinion on it. I think the Oblivion works on other wrestlers, but someone like Nia, I thought Liv would have had to at least hit it a couple of times, not hit it once, and it worked.
I think it comes down to the fact that Liv is very small and Nia is very big, and I just don't think the move like suits either of those wrestlers. I think
Yeah.
like it's disproportionate. It's hard to hit a move on someone so large.
But that's what I'm saying. We had it shown in the Seth Rollins Bronson match, though, that Seth had to hit a super version of his stomp to get that win. So why did Liv not think in that moment, I need to go outside of the box and hit a crazier move, or I need to do Oblivion and find a way to do it from like a top rope or a new version of it? You had a few weeks to sit down and work that out because you know this match was coming. I just think there should have been more thought process into that finish or hitting Oblivion a couple of times. Like the first one she hits gets Nia to fall to her knees, so then Liv can run and do a moving second one, and that's what got her. That's just my ring logic and booking.
Grab Dom by the legs and swing him round and hit Nia with him. And that's the
whilst you play the song, you spin me right round.
Yes.
Someone make an edit of that real quick.
I think we're all in the same agreement there of like, you know, once again, I'm not really fussed who won this match, but it was hard to believe that Nia wasn't going to win.
I know.
And then she didn't. I think most of this card we can put down to is decent matches, but wrong winners. That's like the best we could take away from this pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, the next match we can't even really talk about because it wasn't even a match.
Yes,
no.
I was going to. I love how you knew where I was going next.
Oh God.
So let's get this short and sweet match. The match that wasn't a match, and it fucked me off. I was so looking forward. You guys knew when we did this prediction episode. I said this is the hardest match for me to call.
Yeah, and same with G.
Yeah, I love the RKO. I love the stunner. I love these two wrestlers. It didn't fucking matter because it wasn't a match.
Nope.
Like, you know, DQ'd it on Kevin Owens jumping outside of the ring, putting Randy through a table. Sorry, hasn't Randy took worse from the bloodline since his return of the back surgery? Hasn't Randy took worse stepping in for Cody Rhodes multiple weeks in a row alongside Kevin? And you're telling me that's what DQ'd the match?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, I get the booking is to obviously draw this matches out, make it a bigger deal at Survivor Series and maybe even a Mania match. But, like, we didn't fucking need it. Like,
no,
you could have had them have a 20-minute match and make it a draw or a no DQ by either Randy loses his temper and goes for a chair or Kevin Owens hits with a chair. We didn't need to go to this extra extreme of they haven't even rung the bell properly. They rang the bell for like 5 seconds and then it became not even a match because they got counted out and no disqualification because Kevin Owens put him through a table. Like what?
I think WWE should have spent less time talking about the tourism aspect of Saudi Arabia and just give the Crown Jewel pay-per-view the name Crown Jewel and then the little symbol underneath or the little slogan. You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about the whole show. I don't really have anything else to say on it because it was such a non-event. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like if you miss it, you're like, it's not really that big of a deal. I'll just check the highlights.
Yeah, I somewhat agree on that. Like, obviously, I always make an argument of sometimes they put actually stellar matches, and like if you didn't watch the women's match, I highly recommend you go back and watch.
Yeah, that was probably the one
miss.
thing that I'll say an exception to my slogan is the women's match, the tag match, not the Nia Liv one. Because
but I'm very much the same. Like we could have this could have gone without, and it's weird. The one thing I will pop off about that I loved Kevin Owens doing, I don't know if you both noticed it, guys, the t-shirt he wore.
Yeah, I saw that. The cowboy bubble shirt.
Loved that detail of the fact he wore Randy's dad's t-shirt to fight him.
Yeah, it was like ever since he turned on Cody, he's been wearing the Dusty t-shirt.
Dusty. So. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I like that.
He's getting in their heads, that's why. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say on the match because it just, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I don't know why they couldn't have just not put it on the card and they could have announced it for Survivor Series and done a little bit more build
gave
for
more
that.
time to build it up. Yeah. Are you in the same boat, Reese, or have you got more to add to it?
I feel like I'm way off the mark on this. No, I completely disagree. I love this. I thought it was great. And I'm not even being sarcastic. I thought this was the perfect way to do it. You wanted to add some heat to it. You wanted to make me believe Kevin Owens actually is a viable threat in the men's division, going up against Randy Orton. Do this. I didn't want to see a 20-minute match. I mean, to be honest with you, as you guys know, I don't want to see a match with Kevin Owens in it at all lately.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, has this changed your thoughts on him?
Yeah. So it's not changed my thoughts on it, but it was more interesting than... I think this has done more for the story than a 20-minute match would have done. You had utter chaos. You had Randy Orton, seeing red, hearing voices in his head because Kevin Owens is absolutely trying to trigger him. You had all of the backstage people getting stunned and RKO'd and punched in the face and all that sort of stuff. It felt more legit. I've always, unless you put them in a cage match or a hardcore match, I've always found wrestling very interesting and weird when it goes, oh, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. How do we solve this? In a fight where there's lots of rules. I've always found that.
And I get that, but I think a lot more of my point was I was so looking forward to the idea of it and what could have been the potential of such a brutal match between two people who can really go to that dark place of how to be violent in the ring. And I was expecting more like a ring technical, big striking match between them. I get what you're saying about the turning it into a street level fight and then going, fuck the rules. We just want to get aggressive and hit each other. But I feel like Randy and KO both have that. We can be that brutal in the ring and blur the rules to make it work in our way.
Kind of. I've with Kevin Owens for me, he kind of does 5 moves, and
I get what you're saying, and I
5
do.
Moves to do.
I have
he
made that.
Does that rolling. He does that rolling cannonball thing. He's got the stunner. He's got the senton. He's got the you think you're gonna suplex me? Joke's on you, sucker! Bye, chump. And then he's got the frog splash. I
get all of that. I do get the argument of not utilizing him, and it does agitate me as well. I am very much someone who's been through a lot of Kevin Owens' career, and he has so many extra moves that he could be doing. But WWE just book him to, hey, do your spots. These are the ones that are safe. These are the ones we can do every week. People enjoy watching them. Wow.
Here's the thing, though, man. I'm going to give you credit for this. We will get what you're wanting. The point for this was we will probably get a match at Survivor Series or something we will be getting it, and it's because of this match. And I'll be more interested in seeing that match because of what happened in this one.
Yeah,
I still don't really care about Kevin Owens, but I don't know if invested is the right word because I'm not really invested in this feud.
It's piqued your interest to see where it can go. I get.
Yeah. I'll watch. Do you know what I mean?
I understand. Business-wise, I understand it, but as a fan, I kind of felt in the best way of saying it, it was low-hanging fruit that was dangled, and as I tried to grab it, they've literally gone, haha, nope, bye.
You felt a bit shortchanged.
Yeah, that's all I felt.
Me with Bronson Reed potentially winning it. No.
Yeah, I feel shortchanged because we still could have had a little bit of a match, something start, and then it go into this derailed, it went into a fight, because we know KO's character, we know Randy's character, we're not stupid, we knew it weren't gonna be a legitimate fight with the rules, but it could have at least started like that. I don't even feel like it started that from the beginning. It never even felt like it became a match. It just became two guys beating the shit out of each other, and I'm like, I'm cool with it. Just establish it as that of like it's a no DQ match, or it's a if this gets too real too quick, it's done for. And I think another part of why I was expecting more was the whole Triple H angle of it, saying like, "Oh, Randy, keep an eye on yourself from now on."
Yeah.
I felt like, are they playing into Triple H has more to do with this? Like maybe he's in Kevin Owens' ear again, like all those years ago with Seth Rollins. I felt like it was leaning to that again.
I don't know. There's just a lot that they could be doing, but it just doesn't feel like they want to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
They know that people are still intrigued in what's going on, regardless of how hard they try.
Yeah.
Well, prediction. I think we're probably going to be getting an unsanctioned match.
Yes.
Could
That's
we
what that.
like
That'd
home
be cool.
invasion angle though.
Oh, I'd be down for that.
Wait, I'm gonna watch. Sorry.
A home invasion angle. Like you forget that one of the people that's involved in this feud was involved in one of the most popular home invasions with Triple H.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Kevin Owens being the one to do it to Randy though. Like,
well, it would be Kevin. It wouldn't be Randy. I don't think.
I mean, I don't know. Randy could do it. Be like, yo, I'm that pissed at you. Like I feel
Or
like
Randy could just literally go to Kevin's house and be like, "Bro, I just want to sit down and talk."
True. It'd be interesting because, like, I know Kevin Owens is the heel in all of this, but I feel like it's gonna slowly bubble over to we're gonna feel sorry for Kevin because Randy is going to lose his absolute shit and go back to his like very true, very dark heel side, and you're gonna kind of feel sympathetic for Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Because Kevin Owens, the whole story right now for Kevin Owens is that I'm trying to get you back on my side. Like, I didn't betray you guys. I feel betrayed, and I want you to listen, but you're not listening to me. So I'll beat it into you if I have to. Which, in a way, is so babyface heel. It's so good. Like, I shouldn't praise it as much as I do, but, like, the concept of it is absolutely fantastic if it's done right. And I feel like they're leading that way, but I don't know. It could be weird.
I get that.
Actually, I'll just from what Paul's just put in the chat, I've just had a massive click in my brain that I shouldn't have. He mentioned Legend Killer Randy. What if Kevin Owens is going for the Legend Killer, but it's their sons? The next generation of them. Because look, he wore Cody's dad shirt. He's wore Randy's dad shirt. He's going for Cody. He's gone for Randy. And there are other next generation wrestlers of these great wrestler legacies. He could go after.
He's going to go
Santos
after Ava. He's going to go after Ava.
Yeah, he's going to get Ava. Yeah. Santos is one. I mean, Solo's another one.
Dom's one. Maybe.
There's plenty. Andrade's one. Just putting it out there.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah.
To finish off, we have the main event. I don't even know where to go with this one. The Gunther versus Cody. I am so deflated of just talking these matches. Like, I thought this match was so cool. To then it got ruined with the finish.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's just
yeah. Are you in the same boat, Reese, or are you opposite? Like,
right? Okay, I will.
He speaks for all of us.
Yeah, he speaks for all of us now. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm gonna try so hard to give this match any credit. Okay.
Gunther looked good. Wrestled well.
Yeah.
Gunther looked great. I can't remember who he was in the ring with. But right. So the ending was a homage to WrestleMania 8. It was also a homage to Brett versus Austin, where in this role I will be playing the role of Bret Hart, said Cody Rhodes. In this role I will be playing the role of Bret Hart again, said Cody Rhodes. So in WrestleMania 8, Roddy Piper has a sleeper hold on. Bret goes up the ropes, rolls him up.
Yeah.
Roddy won't break the sleeper hold, so he gets pinned. Same thing happened when Austin tried to do the thing to Bret, and he did it again. So something similar happened here, obviously, where Gunther had the sleeper hold on Cody, and he rolled him up. I understand the match. I get it. It was a nice nod. With that being said, the wrong person won. It was terrible. It was stupid. Cody Rhodes doesn't need to win everything. Oh, look at me. I'm an amazing guy. Look how great I am. I'm the double champion. You didn't need it. You didn't need the championship. It doesn't make me care about your championship that you're holding now. The fact that you have two, it still doesn't bother me. It doesn't make you look interesting in the slightest. Gunther needed it more than you because Gunther is currently a monster on Raw, and it would have looked cool if it had beat Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I've got to say about it. I didn't give a shit. I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my frustrations as well is you gave such a good like shoot finish of an like a V like sleeper hold to easily won by a roll up like that. Like I get the homage, I get the coolness of it and stuff like that, but at the same time, someone like Gunther, the build he is, putting a sleeper, I meant to just believe Cody had the wind and the thought process in time to land. Oh, I can quickly put him in a roll up. Like, no. Sorry, no.
I just want to say something as well. Like, Gunther as a character, Gunther as a wrestler, Gunther would never fall for that.
Exactly.
That goes against everything. That he's the ring general. He is the
would
ring
know that.
general.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Like,
And also, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not Cody Rhodes' biggest fan. This does Cody Rhodes no favors whatsoever. It makes him look
no,
like
it
a pussy
doesn't.
again.
And as a Cody Rhodes fan, I agree with you. This gave Cody Rhodes no direction, nothing that helped him.
Yeah, but he made him look like a bitch. He could have beat Cody. He could have beat Gunther. Like he beat him by the skin of his teeth. You know, kind of how he beat Logan Paul by the skin of his teeth. Kind of how he beat Kevin Owens by the skin of his teeth. Everybody, like everyone that Cody Rhodes is going against, he isn't winning decisively. He's winning like just by the skin of his teeth. Oh, that was close, wasn't it, guys? By the way, I'm the strongest champion in the fucking company. No, you're not.
So
it pisses me off.
I'm very much the same as Reese here of the way they keep making Cody win doesn't legitimize him anymore. Like the Cody Cutters have felt less relevant. The like Crossroads just feels meh now, and he's winning literally by the quickest slip. I've done this and got it in as quick as I could. Like it's not making me enjoy the run as much as I want to now. The cool thing was Randy being like, oh, if there's nothing left of Kevin Owens, I'm sure you'll think of something and looked at the belt. Cool. Give me that then. Start slow building the Randy Cody. But you can't because you've now gave me Randy KO. And don't get me wrong, I'm interested in that. But now you've made Cody feel like nothing's going for it. If Gunther beat him, that could have been someone Cody could have been like, I'm going to give you a title opportunity. Even if Gunther was holding the other belt or not. You could have done a champion versus champion, winner takes all at Mania again, or put a stipulation on it of whoever loses has to relinquish their belt.
Yeah. They missed out on an opportunity of playing a really good song at the end of this match. They could have played Nothing Else Matters by Metallica.
I was gonna say womp womp womp, but never mind.
Because like just
or they could have played Enter Sandman by Metallica because you know Cody fucking went to sleep by the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck hell, I did as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think going into the show, there was so much that we could have really looked forward to. But towards, like, I think for me, I personally was just, I was really excited for the first match. The first match was good. Tag match was great. And then after that point, I just was like, you know, it felt like a slog to get through.
Yeah,
And I don't like when my wrestling feels like that. I don't like it.
No, I agree. Yeah.
It was just knowledge as well that the Crossroads. I feel like I'm being very biased. Maybe I am. Can we just acknowledge that the Crossroads is a terrible finishing move, by the way? If you have to hit your finishing move 3 times on somebody, it's rubbish. Like, it should be like a one and done, like the spear.
Yep.
Or the end of days. Like, why do you have to hit it 3 times on somebody for him to lose?
You know, it's not good, eh?
No. I don't see AJ Styles hitting 5 phenomenal forearms to win a match.
5 Styles clashes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, the Cody situation upsets me because, like, I'm a big fan of Cody, but that's because I've followed him for so long and I'm glad he finally got the championship run. But I feel, once again, I feel like this argument, it constantly happens of some people fit chasing the belt better than actually having the belt, and it really keeps pissing me off. They don't know how to book the champions once they have their championship belt. Like, why do they keep fumbling this? It's not hard to book them. Just give them opponents where it makes sense to give them opponents. Start writing a storyline. The AJ Styles versus Cody, I liked that because it was two former Bullet Club boys that have never wrestled each other before. I thought that was sweet as fuck that they did that. But then they kept falling down this. Solo keeps getting back involved. Solo's challenging the belt. Oh, he's lost. Now Gunther. Because championship first championship. Even the Logan Paul match, I was like, okay, kind of cool. But then it went nowhere. Like,
no,
it didn't help either of them. And Logan's been gone since. It's like,
okay, he's a dead now.
Yeah, he's lost his US and then went. And it's like, I get that, but like, just come on, man.
Yeah.
Give me something.
It just sucks. Yeah. Everything sucks. I don't enjoy Cody on any level whatsoever. I don't enjoy his promos. I don't enjoy him in the ring. I don't enjoy his character. Like, drastic changes need to be made to Cody Rhodes for me to give a shit about him.
Heel. Just make him heel.
Yeah, but that can't be the answer for everyone. I know it was the answer for Roman.
Oh, no. The reason why I say make him heel is Cody's best ever work had been his heel work. Like, stripping back the I'm here for the crowd to just be the obnoxious, I had one of the greatest wrestling dads and I still don't give a shit. I'm better than anyone. That he was when he was in the Bullet Club and basically was somewhat a Bullet Club leader for a tiny bit. Like, that was some of his best ever work. Like, I could send you multiple promos where I fucking love how Cody delivered on the mic being a heel. One of my all-time favorite promos comes from him, where he talks about winning the New Japan US title. It's like, this is their brand new title. This is their greatest thing. They want to build a legacy. And you put me against Juice Robinson, someone who referred to as Dusty's kids. If you didn't think it was personal, it fucking was, because I'm actually his goddamn son and I'm sick of people referring to Dusty's kids. Like, that is stuff that needs to be in his baby face stuff as well. Like, stop bringing up my dad. Just because I am his son, stop bringing him into every fucking thing we have to do. Yes, I did this for my father, but now I'm doing this for me. Like, that needs to be inserted into the promos. There needs to be that, like, slight edge to him now of the, right, I'm getting sick of this, of how everyone's disrespecting me. Stop playing into that. I don't get this. Go.
I was going to say, I would quite like to see, like, a Homelander, Cody Rhodes. I'd like a kind of very unaware that he's being a dick. But he's
Yeah,
a.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what would be perfect? I know this is crazy because he's annoying me at the moment. But do you know what is a perfect gimmick that Cody Rhodes should be doing?
Mm.
Learning tree Chris Jericho.
No, you are not wrong. I get what you mean by that, of being the hi guys, bubbly all on the screen, like everyone enjoy me, to them when it's away from the screen. Fuck all of you, like I'm doing this on purpose for me.
Yes. He would be doing that so well.
Perfectly. That would work so good in those scenarios. But I just don't think they have the intent to pull the trigger on something like that. I think it is one that they truly struggle on knowing what to do in that situation, because Cody, as this babyface, it makes so much money because he appeals to the kids. He is the perfect American ideal. And I hate to give this comparison, but it is your modern day Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He preaches the American. He's got the big ass. He's got the physique. He's got the perfect theme song that everyone's gonna go whoa, which Hulk Hogan had with the "I am American," all that shit.
He's literally Cena and Hogan mixed up into one person.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what it feels like. That it feels like they don't want to change Cody too much. They don't want to stop this meteoric run that Cody is on right now, literally due to, because he is so American, so patriotic, it instantly makes Americans flock to their channels and watch any promo or any work he is doing because it benefits them.
Yeah, for real.
But I think we've cleared enough on there. If there's anything else other people want to talk about wrestling wise that has piqued their interest, I've got a couple of things I wanted to mention in the wrestling news, or any final thoughts to Crown Jewels. Floor's yours.
I mean,
no final thoughts.
With Crown Jewel, my only why can't I say it? My only final thought, Jesus Christ, was it was just a bit of a show where if you didn't watch it, you didn't really miss much.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it wasn't a bad show. Just the wrong people won some of those matches. I do want to say, I want to give a quick shout out to NXT because it's currently still killing it at the moment. I haven't been able to watch NXT yesterday because I haven't been able to do the review due to my stupid camera. But I am very much looking forward to going and watching that in the next couple of days.
Once you've watched it, please DM me because we have stuff to talk about, because there were some fun things in it that I don't want to spoil for you. And that women's match, spectacular. Okay,
dope. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it then.
And I think you'll be surprised of who got the pin and who took the pin.
Okay.
But yeah, we won't spoil NXT for you. But I was also going to shout NXT. Big, really fun show, especially being in ECW's arena. For me, that is a lot of my childhood. I used to be a big ECW kid and old WCW. So seeing the nice little references NXT brought through, love to see that. The big one I'm going to talk about, that I don't know if many people know, couple of little things in AEW, but the major one, New Japan just did something absolutely crazy. Sonada, who has been in the team known as Just 5 Guys, which was originally just 4 guys. That's why they changed it to Just 5, because Sonada was the 5th guy that joined. Just betrayed them and has joined Bullet Club War Dogs. He just left Just 5 Guys to now join the War Dogs. So they are now back to just 4 guys.
Oh my god. They can no longer sell burgers and fries.
No, yeah. But you know what's even more funny?
Go.
Sonada is arguably been one of the guys that has gone to the most factions in New Japan so far. He was in the Young Lions mark before he then joined LIJ, which is Los Ingobernables. to then he joined Just Five Guys to now he has joined the War Dogs.
Nice. I do like Sonata, to be fair. I love his work.
I'm a huge Sonata guy. I didn't like his gimmick when he was in Just Five Guys because he got rid of the cold skull and that like nice, evil, silent but deadly type character he was when he was with them. So I hope he kind of brings that kind of attitude back and that kind of look alongside the Bullet Club War Dogs. I also like the fact of Robbie X has now joined Bullet Club as well. UK representative of Robbie X. He is used to train in my dojo as well and has been former champion of my dojo. So big represent for me. Most of War Dogs are Kamikaze Pro Dojo boys.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out New Japan just did something crazy, adding another person to the War Dogs. I think that is going to be such a unique story. And Zack Sabre Jr. has been announced to not only wrestle on Wrestle Kingdom, he will be wrestling on Wrestling Dynasty, which is the collaboration of AW, New Japan, Stardom, and CMLL. Then literally the next night. So he is defending his belt twice in a row.
Nice.
Yes. Also, Will Hobbs rejoined AEW last night. He returned, and that was fucking cool to finally see Will Hobbs back. But that was all my news that I wanted to bring up that I thought was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corny, anything?
Nope. Absolutely nothing.
I got nothing.
Nothing. I ain't got nothing.
That has been us. It has been long tangents, very much talking our passions and slight frustrations with what happened at Crown Jewel. But I think it was good that we all, got the weight off our shoulders, vented it on the podcast like we do. Thank you, everyone who watched. It was a really fun one. And with that, Reese, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, sure thing, man. You can follow Outcasted on YouTube. If you just click the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, that'd be absolutely amazing. We are slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and your support is always welcome. You can also find us on TikTok, X, and Instagram if you want to see any more of our content. Obviously, our individual channels will be in the link down below. If you want to go and check out Courtney's review of Monday Night Raw, it is up there. Unfortunately, you won't get a review from NXT from me for this week. It was in the ECW arena, but I definitely recommend you go check out the show because I heard it was very, very good. But you will be getting a review from either Ross or G of Friday Night SmackDown on the Saturday morning, so make sure you check that out. Next week, we've got a whole load of content coming for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned and look out for it. But for now, guys, I hope you have an absolutely amazing Thursday or a Friday morning, depending on where you are in this lovely world. And peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.